All right, so welcome to digital circuit class and lab. So today we'll first talk about this class. We'll talk about the syllabus. We'll go over the grading policy. Excuse me. And then we'll start with our first topic, which is the number system. So the digital circuit class here is a hands-on experience on the digital circuit. So we will learn how the digital circuit work. Okay, it's quite different than how the electric circuit works, because I know that most of you have been exposed to some kind of electric circuit class, right, before you came to this class. So that's a good experience because you know that how circuits look like, what are the basic components of different circuits, but the electric circuit is a little bit different though. And you know, electric circuit is also different in the sense that electric circuit requires a different kind of math called binary arithmetic. So it deals with the number system. So we'll first talk about those, and over the time we'll get into those points. Okay. So for this class we have a textbook. So I gave you the information about the book here. So here is the textbook information, and also we need a lab manual. I will give you the lab manual before we go to the lab, and also we need a couple of tools before we go to the lab. We are not going to the lab in this week for sure, but I want you to order, if you are planning to, you know, order it from somewhere. You can also buy it from the bookstore for sure. So you need 2 breadboards. I'll show you how breadboards look like. 1 needle nose plier and 1 cutter stripper. If you just, you know, it's already there. If you show it to any store, bookstore, or you know, any electric store, then they know what it is. Okay, but you know, you can just buy the very basic one. It doesn't have to be the most fancy version, but the basic one will work. I'll show you how they look like. Just let me remember. Just remind me if I forget. So here are some course objectives that how. Oh, okay, and also these are not too expensive. Okay, so I think together, all of those together may not be more than $25. Okay, or everything. So we need 2 breadboards, but you can start with the 1, and then later on you can buy, because we will not need the second one before the middle of the semester. So it's up to you whether you buy both together or you get it like buy one get one free deal. So we have some course objectives here. So that will tell you what should be your expectation, what you are going to learn, and what you should expect as an outcome of this class at the end of this class. The next section, I try to give you a couple of important information. This section is quite important. You see here, in some sections I try to bold some of the things so that you can just look those for sure. This class, all of our lecture, including today, everything will be recorded through the TechGrid. I think some of you have already seen TechGrid. TechGrid is a software bought by Southwest. So for an example, let me show you an example here. Let's say you are in the pause. Okay, this is pause, right? We all know pause. I'm sure that we all have seen it. So here is the link for the TechGrid. Do you see it? There is a link, TechGrid. If you click this link and click here, it will take you to another window. It opens another window, and all the lecture, whatever we are having here, will be available here just right after 15 minutes of this class. So let's say our lecture is over, and then you will have this lecture here. These are some previous lecture from last semester for this class. Okay, so this already here. So you'll know it from the date, because you know the dates are like, you know, spring. But we'll update the date for these classes, so you'll see that lecture as well here. And this software is so great because, you know, I cannot avoid using it because we record the lecture here, so you get everything of the class. So for an example, you get the whole desktop with the voice in the background. Okay, so anytime you want to go back, what happened in the class, what I said, what you said, what we discussed, you will have everything here. And also, the only bad thing is that will be my voice. And also, if you don't like it, you can tweak and twist my voice. You can, you know, when you play it, you can change the speed, you can change the tone a little bit here and there. You can make it fast, slow, if you don't like it. So, and also, this software has an apps available for any iPhone, Android phone, or any like any computer. Computer you can always access it, but I'm saying any like iPad or tablet types of devices. So all you need to do is you have to just download the apps into your cell phone and then install it. It's free, and then you have to register it. To register, all you need to do is just go to the once you open it, click the My Account here. Once you click, you will see another window, and just click, look at there, click the Generate Code. Once you click the Generate Code, you see there is a code here. Do you see the code here? BXZU whatever. So you will get a random code generated, okay? All you need to do is just enter that code into cell phone. And after that point, all the lecture, whatever you have here, will be also available to your cell phone just right after 15 minutes of the class. So this is really great. And we had great experience from past semester as well, because, you know, I know that students are really having a lot of benefits from this software. But what is the bad side? The bad side is, if you miss the class, we always expect or assume that before you come back to the class next time, you already have the lecture and you exactly know what we have discussed in the class. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are. As long as you have cell phone, as long as you have either data plan or wireless network, or you have computer access, because, you know, we have computer almost in everywhere, okay, right? So we assume that you have the lecture. You know the materials we have covered at least once, okay? And I strongly recommend, if you miss the class, because this is for you, okay? Even if you are in the class, you know, sometime you cannot go back, you forgot, or you discussed something like 2 weeks before, you are trying to retrieve those. And also, this one is searchable, okay? It's a good thing is searchable. For an example, let's say you type in something here. Let's say you said truth table, and then press an enter. Let me show you what it shows. Look at this. Out of all the lecture I have recorded there in the class, it tries to find all the slides with the word truth table. So the good thing is, if you really want to know about the truth table, or let's say you want to review the concepts about the truth table, what you can do is you can just check the slides. You don't have to go to the complete lecture of like 1 hour, 20 minutes, for an example. You don't have to, what happens in general, let's say we have like 25 slides in one lecture, and you are looking for a specific keyword and you are looking for that concept. You know, people try to find it, just moving the slide here and there a little bit, okay? You don't have to do it. You can just search here and click on exactly that slide. And just listen what we discussed on that slide. Because in most of the cases, it's very likely that we open the slide and we discuss it here, okay? So most of the topics relevant to that slide should be on that slide, or maybe a little bit before and later. So you can browse a couple of slides and then you'll know the concept. So it's really good that you can find it here. So it's also searchable, so you don't have to look at the whole 1 hour or whatever. Let's see. So that was really important. And the attendance policy and requirements, we have just the regular attendance policy. We don't have any extra credit for the attendance. But the thing is something like, if you don't attend the class, if you keep missing or if you skip the class, we know that you are having the lecture, but at the same time, you probably need some clarification from me, right? You want to practice the exercise here. You want to see the examples we are solving, right? We try to do as much as we can in the desktop so that everything is captured. Even if you understand it in the class, you know that, sometimes you want to review, you want to refresh, go back. So everything will be recorded for sure. Okay. Now, some important evaluation policy for this class. All the homework, sample test, and the test will be in pause. In fact, those are already in pause. Okay. So let me give you a quick introduction of those things because those are really important to understand. So since you have computer in front of you, you can log on to pause if you want. Let me show you what I'm just, okay. Now, here if you go to the quiz section, here you will see all the homeworks. You will not see at this point. This is my account, so I can see all the homeworks. You don't see it at this point. Okay, you will see just first one for each of those sections. You will just see the first lab exercise, first quiz for the chapter 3. You will just see those. Now, all of these quizzes we do just right after the lecture is over. Okay, but trust me, we keep those open until the end of the semester. The reason is because you want to practice all the quiz again and again for unlimited number of times. But don't wait for the last minute. Don't assume that you will be a Superman at the end of the semester. So better to practice every day whenever we are done, because you can practice it here. We'll give you a chance to practice here for sure. We'll allocate some time. You will be able to practice it here. In addition, you can practice it from anywhere as long as you have a computer, access to online. You can do that. So there are some more information about the quiz. You 25% of the grade will be coming from all these homeworks and quizzes, especially the quizzes, all the quizzes, even the sample test. But these quizzes are designed such that if you don't get 65% in any of the quiz, you will not see the next one. The reason is you can keep trying. Let's say you tried 5 times and you got 80%. Automatically you see the next one. Anytime you get more than 65%, you'll see the next one. The reason we did that because we want to make sure that you understand the concept and you are ready for the next one. Trust me, the 65% is not the expected grade for this class. But it's still, that's the bare minimum requirement, because anything less than 65 is not the passing grade. So even if you get like more than 65 and you see the next one, still we encourage you to get 100%. Because after that, even if you try again and again, you can get 100%. Doesn't matter how many times you try, the pause records the highest grade. So it will always record the highest grade, even if you get 100% and then later you get 80%, still your grade is 100% because that was your highest score. So make sure you keep trying, because all the homeworks will be based on the lecture we have here. In the lecture, we will have example. We'll go over the concept. We'll have examples. Similar example will be here, because all those examples, because in each of the homework, you will see the same questions, similar questions, okay? And every time you submit the quiz, it will be graded automatically. You will see the correct answer for each question you submitted. Even if so for an example, you'll see the correct answer for all the questions you missed, basically, because all the correct answer you already have the correct. Yeah, you already know the answer, right? Then what you can do is, you will see, when you see that, okay, I answered this and this is the right answer, you can compare and make some sense. You can ask me, so we can figure it out that why that is wrong, why you run into the wrong answer, and then when you start over, you will get the similar questions again. Not exactly the same, but similar. I'm saying, except the numbers are different, but You will exactly get the same question. So you will be able to practice it again and again with different numbers and values, but the same questions until you get the expected grade, which is 100%. But you at least need 65 to see the next one. And also, one of the reasons we did this, because we don't want you to do, for an example, the homework of chapter 5 before you understand chapter 3, because that will not be good for you, that's not good for me. We'll be scaring each other, okay? So we don't want to do that. So that's why you will not see all of the quizzes right now. You will just see the first one, because once you do the first one, second one. But I'm just trying to give you the idea that a lot of quizzes are waiting for you, okay? So all of this quiz, and after the lecture is over, I'll tell you what quiz to do, which quiz to do right now. And automatically, if you are in the class and if you are with the class, with us, you will be there for sure, because we are expecting that you are, even if you are not in the class, we know that you are listening to us, right? We know that you are listening to us. That's the bad side. It doesn't matter whether you are in the Florida beach or you are in the Rocky Mountain. I'm assuming that somehow you have some internet access and you will be able to listen what we are talking here, okay? And also, we have sample tests for each and every test. And sample tests are just like the test. Trust me, they are the same questions, except the numbers, okay? They're exactly the same questions. But sample tests also have some surprises. Something like this. For an example, test 1, let's say, is on chapter 3. We have, for an example, 5 quizzes here for chapter 3. Okay? So that means for the test 1, you have some sample test here, right? You will not see any of the sample test link until you are done with all the homework of chapter 3 with 65 in each of those. Again, we did this because you should not start with sample test before you even tried the homework. You see what I'm saying? Because once you did the homework, because the sample test will be based on the similar questions, but excuse me, with probably little bit more precise form. Okay, we'll not probably covering all the questions there, but important one. Okay, and the sample test. Another part is sample test will be timed. There will be time with the sample test, meaning if you click the start quiz, the time start running, okay, and you cannot stop the time. Doesn't matter, you log off. For an example, you have 30 minutes for a quiz. You see what I'm saying? Let's say, because so let's say sample test 1 part 1, you have 30 minutes to complete it. You click the start quiz, time started, okay? So you just have like 15 minutes and you decided to do something else, you log off, but time did not stop. Okay. Next time when you log in, you will see that was submitted automatically. So you cannot. There is no way you can stop it. Okay. It doesn't matter what you do. The reason we did that, because sample test is just like the practice of the test. Since the test will be timed, you have to finish the test within that time. It will be exactly same. For an example, test 1 part 1 is 30 minutes. That means, sample test part 1 is 30 minutes. That means test 1 part 1 will be exactly 30 minutes. You will have the same and similar question there. So we want you to practice with the time. Homework, you don't have time limit. You can start this week, you can finish later. Okay? If you don't finish, if you just save the answer, next time when you start, you will see your answer saved. So you can go over and then finish the remaining part, we're done. But the sample test and test, those are time, you cannot stop it once you click the start quiz. So make sure you have time and then you start quiz. But again, you can try again and again. Doesn't matter if it is even submitted. You can try again. And again, as usual, it will record the highest grade. And sample tests are also part of your grade. All the homeworks, sample tests belong to the homework grade. So automatically, you want to do those. Okay? And I'm sure that you will need 100% in all of those, because you want 25 out of 25 for the homework grade. But I have seen in the past that students are doing their homework sample test after the test is over, because they want to maximize their test, the homework grade. I understand that, but doing a sample test after the test is not probably your best choice. You always want to do the sample test before the test and get the 100% there, right? You can always do that for sure, because the sample test will not be closed as well. It will be open until the last day of the semester. But there is another surprise, which is if you don't do the sample test, and if you do not get 65% in each of the section of the sample test, you will not see the test link. Because you have to have the link to start the test. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's say there are 3 parts in the test. If you don't complete the sample test with 65% in each of the part, you will not see the test link. Doesn't matter whether you are here or not during the test time. You see what I'm saying? So it's really important for all of us to finish the sample test at least with 65%. But trust me, if you do all the homework with 65% at least, you will definitely understand all the sample test. Because every time you submit, it will show you the right answer. Okay, you can start over, get similar question, again you submit, you'll see the right answer, the question you missed. There will be examples in the slide. I'm here, you can ask me question, but you have to use the resources. If you don't use it, we'll not be able to help you. You know what I'm saying? Because all of these are designed for you, and the reason we restricted that do this so you see it is only for you, because we realize that the sample tests are designed to help you in the test. Now if you don't do the sample test, it's not good for you as well. And test is just like one-time shot, right? So if you miss the score, you'll miss the grade, or you'll be losing something in your final grade, and nobody will be able to help you. We can help to some extent. We can probably do some extent, right? But we cannot replace a lot of things. And also regarding the test, we have a lot of good news in the test. Now first good news is the test is open book for this class. All the tests are open book. Okay, it doesn't matter how many books you bring. Okay, it's open book. So you can bring all of your book or whatever, how many books. The tests are open book. Second good news is that every section of the test here, you can attempt twice. This is the only class in the Southwest where the test you can take second chance. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the second chance. Let's say you did first time, you submitted, and you will see the grade, right? And you will see the question you missed. You will not see the right answer though, because this is a test. You will just see, okay, question number 7 and question number 9 is wrong. Okay, now you know that those 2 questions are wrong, and you got some score, let's say 70%. Now if you decide to go for next time, you can, but you will see very similar question again. Not exactly the same questions, but you at least know what you are expecting in question number 7 and question number 9. When you start over, you will see the similar question, you submit it. But remember, this time, since this is a test, you gave you the second chance, but the pause record the last grade. Anytime you start the second chance, be careful about that. If you are not confident, don't start it. Because it might be the case that the first time you got 70%, next time you got 50%, and the 50% is going to be great because the pause record the last grade. Because this is a test, but still you get the second chance, because I know that sometimes you know the concept, you know everything, still we do some mistake, right? We are human beings, so we make mistakes. So after you submit, if you see, okay, I know that, but I did some mistake, let's do it again. So you can do that. You can, but the most of the cases I have seen students are getting better grade. First time 70, next time 95. So the 95 will be great, okay? But you cannot just randomly take the chances, because the second time grade may be lower than the first time, and that will be great, okay? But still, in every test here, starting from test 1 to the final, every test you have second chance. Okay, books are open. Doesn't matter how many books you bring, everything is open. Okay. Now, let's get back to the course information. Excuse me. So there will be, we have a hands-on experience. We'll have hands-on experience in the lab. So once we are done with the concept, we'll go to the lab. So I'll announce it. Next class, we are going to the lab. So this class is not like, today lab, tomorrow class. It's not like that. But, once we are done, we'll tell you that, okay, next class will be in the lab. And lab is just the other classroom. So, you know where we are. Okay. And this is the, and also, these are some basic information that is, in general, because, since we have second chance in the test, so we don't have any makeup, because, that second chance you have to assume that's your second chance. That's like a makeup always there, okay? And these are the grade distribution, how we'll be taking your grades. So we'll take 25% from your homework and sample test. So you can remember, you have unlimited chances for those, but don't wait for the last minute. You can try again and again to get use your unlimited chances. Nobody will charge you based on how many times you tried, okay? It's free for you. It doesn't matter how many times you try. Final exam, you have to have it for sure, because it doesn't matter whether you passed without the final exam, you always have to have final exam, okay? Because, it might be the case that without the final exam, you have 75%, which is a passing grade, but still you have to have the final exam. That's required by us. And also there are some bonus points information. If you like bonus, you think, then you should try this. By the end of the semester, we want to have, we want you to do some review for the class. One is in ACT. I think you all do the ACT, right? ACT evaluation for this class. And another one is in the Rate My Professor. If you do those two evaluations, you get 5 points. Yeah. But if you don't like the bonus, don't do it. Okay. Now, here, yeah. So, the 5 point will be 5 point. It's a 5 point is not less, because, out of, for an example, 50, if you get 5 is not that less, So let's see how important that 5 points is. Okay, we'll see. And also remember, I marked a couple of things here so that you don't miss. Those are the same thing, that even if you miss the class, we know that you are listening. Okay, we'll assume that you are listening. If you come back to the class, we do not hear the excuse, oh, I was not here in the last class, because, virtually that is not true. You are always here. So that's the bad part. So I try to mark it here. And anytime if you have any question, you are always welcome to ask the question. Doesn't matter whether you are here or not, but don't try to catch me just by calling. It's better always to send me an email. Okay? But don't email me like this. For an example, your test is tomorrow and you are emailing like a midnight, because, sometimes I don't check, I always check my emails and always try to send the email. And also, when you are sending the email, for an example, you might have some question in the homework, right? So don't just write the homework question number. Don't just write, oh, okay, I did not understand the question number 9 in homework 7. See, I don't remember those. So what happens, if you just do this, I have to go to the computer and I have to check the question, which one is the question, okay? It takes a while, because sometimes I try to answer from my cell phone, because let's say I'm somewhere and I just have my cell phone with me, okay? So it's always better, if you're asking some question, write the question there in the email, okay? Don't attach it, just write it there, okay? Now, the question number 7 is this. This is the question, and I want to understand this. So I can just know, okay, this is the question, let's answer it here. You see what I'm saying? Don't just give the reference, oh, question number 7 of homework 9. So I don't know what is the question number 7 of homework 9. I have to check it. Okay, so if you want your answer right away, write the question. Okay, and I'm always available over the email. For sure, you will get the email within at least 24 hours. But that will not be the case. You will get it better earlier than that for sure. I have my email address at the beginning. So the first page, at the very top of the information, you have all the information about how to catch me, and these are some basic information. Make sure you read, and these are some expected sequence of the class and some important deadlines. Holiday information here. So some good news is. Any question? Yes. Bullet points. Oh, bonus point. It's written there. It's added with the final exam. Because as I know that the final exam is mandatory. Okay. So I'm assuming that final exam. You see here I wrote those are added with your final exam, not with your final grade. This will be added to the final exam. So let's say the final exam is on 50 points. So, and you have 45 there. So, if you submit these, your grade will be automatically 50 because of these 5 points. And you will see there in pause. So, all the grades of this class are, you can see it in the pause. If you go to the grade section, there is a grade section, right? At the top, there is a grade section in pause. If you click the grade, anytime you will see all the grades in all the homework grade, quiz grade, even the lab grade. Because anytime I sign you off for the lab, because once you are done, you have to demonstrate the lab, I'll sign you off. Once I sign you off for the lab, I enter the grade there in pause so that you can see it, you know that your grade is entered. In case I forget, because I might forget, in case I forget to enter, and if you just did it, because you will have a lab manual, I signed there, okay? I first signed there because I know you demonstrated, I signed there. But in case you don't see the grade, let me know that, okay, my grade is missing, so that you know it, your grade is missing, I will enter it, and I know that I signed you off there, I can see it. But if you have like 3 sections in the lab, because some of the labs you might have like 3-4 different parts. I do not enter the grade until I sign the last one. Because you probably did 2 out of 3, but at the end of the semester, when let's say everybody gives up, we don't have time to do this, let's say, then I give the partial credit. For an example, you did let's say 3 out of 2, I will give partial credit for sure. Do you know what I'm saying? This is a digital circuit class, but our grading system is not digital. It's not like 0 or 1. We always like partial credit. We always give partial credit. But we wait until the last minute to see whether you are able to finish it. If you can, you probably will get 100%. If you cannot, but remember, lab grades are not guaranteed 100%. Because for an example, you are delaying so much, you will be losing some points if you don't do it with the class. You know what I'm saying? Let's say we are doing lab 8 and you are doing lab 4. It's not good for any of us, okay? So make sure you are also with us in the lab. And let me show you some important things for the lab as well, because we are not going to the labs this week, but we'll be going there soon. If you go to the content section here in the pause, you will see these are the lectures, and also these are the lectures in the PowerPoint we'll go over. Okay. And these are some video lectures. Now what do you mean by video lectures? These are the lectures captured last semester using Integrity. So let's say you are smart and you are done with your homework and quizzes and you are waiting for all of us. What you can do is you can just listen to the lecture there, and then you can move on. You can just go start with your next homework if you like. So nobody will stop you here if you are trying to move ahead of us, okay? And these are some tutorials you will need, and also for each and every lab, we have some good help really. For an example, let's say this is the lab 4, okay? You see here, for all of the lab, when you will be building the lab, we have schematic for each lab, we have images for each lab, okay? Even we have videos for some of the labs. Let's see. Let me click one and see whether I can get it here. Some of the images are really, really big. So it's better to download it, but I'm just showing you here. Look at this. We have the images of the whole lab. So you will exactly know how to run the where. This is basically the breadboard. Let me see whether I can make it. I probably have to download it. Let's see. All right, now you see this is the breadboard. This board is basically the breadboard, okay? And on the breadboard, we basically plug in different things. For an example, these are ICs we run somewhere, and this is called deep switch. We'll know it for sure, but I'm just trying to show you how the breadboard look like. Probably the color may be a little bit here and there based on the manufacturer, but it's similar to this, most of those, okay? So we'll have the images on all of the lab like this, so that when you are working with your lab, you just want to make sure whether you are doing it right, Okay, and also when you are working with your lab, you probably want to do it in front of the computer. So what you can do is, if you are there, you can come here because both of the rooms are reserved for us. So you can come here in front of the computer instead of printing the picture, because this is a black and white printer, and if you print this, you probably will not see it. You know, there are colors, right? So, and in case if any of us is colorblind, I don't know. So we might, you know, you can. I'm always there to help you for sure. I'm not good at colors as well, but just in case. Okay, so we have the help for each and every lab. Okay, so plenty of examples, plenty of images for each and every lab. Okay, and also for some advanced lab, when you will have too many connections and too many things, we have the procedure there as well. So I'm just showing you all the resources we have so that you can utilize the resource. So we have all the procedures like, okay, step 1, do this, step 2, do this. Even if you want, you can build all the circuit at home before even you come here. For an example, because you know, tomorrow is the lab, you already know the concept, let's say. All these images are there, waiting for you. All the procedures are here. If you want, you can do it advanced, because to make all those connections, you just need the breadboard, and the remaining IC and all those switches and wires will give it to you at the beginning of the semester. So you will have the IC, you will have all those wires, and you can also buy it yourself, because I have seen that some of the students bought some special wires. They like different colors of wire, because you know, when you are building those circuit, colors make a lot of sense, because you know, if you have a bunch of wire and some colors make difference, so they want their own color, or I found some people, they don't like yellow, so you know, they bought their own colors. So so it's up to you. Now, any question? And also you can buy a very cheap, I did not write it in my syllabus, but I just wrote it probably in the first page. You can buy a very cheap microphone. I know that most of you probably have the microphone, because Southwest is famous for using microphone, especially during the class time. So we use the microphone in our class time as well, because what headphones? Yeah, headphones. Yeah, just the small one. The very basic one is probably not more than $5 online for sure, because I can give you the link if you want, but in store it may be $10. Yeah. But you can also get it in the bookstore. Radio Shack is always, you know, we have it in the Radio Shack, but you can also buy it from the bookstore, and you can buy the basic one. If you want, you can always buy the fancy one. Even for the microphone, you can just buy a $5 one online or from anywhere, because, you know, we really encourage you to bring your headphone, because, you know, let's say you are doing your homework and you want to listen what we discussed. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say you are doing your sample test here, and you want to listen what we did in our classroom. Okay? You went back to Tech Ready and just connect your microphone, you can listen to the microphone. Okay? You know, I have some instructor here as an invited guest last semester. He came here, he saw, and he was really disappointed, because he entered, at that time we were practicing our sample test, and everybody had their headphones on their ear. He was so disappointed, because he said, "Is everyone listening to the music?" I said, "Yes, they might listen to the music, I don't know." So, you know, it's up to you, but, you know, you are allowed to use your headphones, okay? You are allowed to use the headphones, because we assume that you are listening to the technical lecture, though it's probably not, it may not be the case, but I'm assuming. Yeah. What is your question? Yeah, sure.
See, down here it says lab 1.
Yeah. See, the lab 1 and lab 2, we'll be discussing it here. We have the concepts in the book, but we are not going by the book. But starting from chapter 3, we'll be discussing from the book. Yeah. So basically, the lab 1 and lab 2 is from the chapter 2 of the book. Lab 1 and lab 2 both is from the chapter 2. Okay. We will show you today, or probably today and next class, because we'll not be able to finish lab 1 and lab 2 by. So the lab 1 and lab 2 is not building the circuit. They are all about number system, which is little bit of math, the different types of math. So That's why lab 1 and 2, we do it in the pause. Once you go to the quiz section, you will see the lab 1 and 2. And what we do is we just do the math, we submit our answer there, we see the grade. If you don't like it, again, that is open. You can keep trying until the last day of the semester for lab 1 and 2. We'll cover the lab 1 and 2 at the beginning of the semester, but that's open for you. And also lab 1 and 2 is also part of the test 1, so automatically you have to do those. You have to practice for the test as well. Any question about the course information, syllabus, and integrity, or pause, homework, quizzes, anything?
Very straightforward.
All right, or anything you did not like? All right, so let's start the number system then. Let's see what we have.